Well, good afternoon. Today we're going to talk about a product that's made by CCAM. It's called Zeolite. And Zeolite is a wonderful product to use if you have a problem with metals that are showing up in your ICP test. And the reason why I'm talking about it today is I made a mistake myself. I'm a do-it-yourself kind of guy. I like to build everything myself. You can buy what you want. I think that's cool. But part of reefing, and for me, for the hobby, is being able to engineer my own equipment, my own overflows, stuff like that. And in this case, I made a top, which was a screen mesh for the top of my tank because I didn't want fish to be able to jump out and lose, expensive quality fish. So what ended up happening, let me bring up this slideshow, is I noticed all of a sudden my leathers weren't opening. And I've got two nice ones, some other ones, but these two that I'm showing in the picture with arrows pointing toward them, and they usually open up beautifully, just beautiful leathers, wide open, toadstools, both of them are. But for some reason they closed up and they wouldn't reopen. Now it's normal for a leather to close when they're growing and they're eating and they go through stages. However, after 2-3 weeks and they're not opening, clearly there's something wrong. I did my own at-home testing to make sure my water parameters were good and everything tested good. Did water changes, checked everything to make sure everything was in line. So I was due for an ICP test anyway, and normally I wouldn't do an ICP test just for leathers, but I assumed there's something wrong since these leathers aren't opening. Now, I had a feeling that it was the top that I made for the tank because I did make it out of aluminum, and I planned on replacing it right away. The aluminum was just going to be a template for me to cut out of acrylic so that I could have an acrylic top that's netted and provide a nice protection so my fish didn't jump out. So I ended up doing the ICP test, and let me just show you the results there real quick. Got it back. Everything's beautiful except for what? Aluminum at the top. That's highlighted in yellow. 101 was a measurement. It should be around 5 or undetectable. So I had a feeling it was the aluminum that I used, of course, because I could tell that it was starting to break down from the salt. And I should have known better, and lesson learned, I know better in the future. So anyway, what I did, and let me show you the frame that I made. I made this I bought this at Home Depot. It's the same aluminum frames that you use for your windows, the screen in your home windows. And I purchased the screen itself from Amazon, and I got the 1/8 inch mesh. I wanted the smaller mesh, so stuff like firefish or really small stuff couldn't get out because a lot of times I buy tiny reef fish, and when they're babies, they're little, and they could get through those 1/4 inch meshes. So the 1/8 inch mesh worked out better, and I bought the spline along with the aluminum at Home Depot. I think it was like $5-6, maybe $10 for the whole thing, and compared to $100 if you buy something yourself from an acrylic maker. Now, if you look, the aluminum on this started to break down, so you could see the salt creep got onto the aluminum, and the anodized aluminum began to break down and start to flake, and that's what ended up getting into the water column. So again, my fault. I should have known better, should have had it replaced sooner. I just got busy with other things, set it aside, and paid a bit of a price. Not a big price, we caught it in time, but I paid a price. So lo and behold, we'll set this aside. We got our Zeolite. And the Zeolite is perfect for situations like this. Not only does it control ammonia, but it controls heavy metals such as aluminum that end up in your water column. Only like $9, $10 for a 500 milliliter can, and that lasts me a long time. I use 1 cup to 50 gallons. This is a almost 100-gallon tank, so I use a cup and a half. I didn't use a full dose. I never do on anything, and it's doing just fine. I did check recently, and my aluminum's way down, and the leathers are starting to open. Now, I went ahead and put the Zeolite in a bag that's tied, that's rope tied, not a zipper. Be careful with zippers. A lot of them for freshwater tanks are made out of aluminum or zinc, and they'll break down and end up in your salt water too. So I use a tie bag or use a plastic or a nylon zipper bag, and I put it right in my overflow next to my riser tube. I use a riser tube, again, I made it myself. I'm a do-it-yourself guy. And I cut holes in it and put a vent in it so that the hydraulic drop would be broken and it wouldn't siphon, and it doesn't make any noise that way. It also ensures that I can slide a bag in there and it doesn't clog up the return going down to the sump, and I don't end up with a flooding issue. So I slid it right in my overflow between the riser pipe and the side of the overflow, and so water flows very nicely past the Zeolite. It's cleaning out the water beautifully, and probably within about a week or two I'll just take it out and discard the Zeolite and I'll be good to go. I also did a couple of water changes along with it to make sure that I'm safe and good to go. So, the thing is, and the reason why I wanted to share this is that we have to be extra careful when you're putting stuff in your tank. This is, again, 100% my fault. I made that frame. I planned on replacing it pretty quick, but I ended up putting it on the back burner because I got busy with other stuff. But when you see your corals responding and it's been a week, 2 weeks, and they really should have come back and opened up, usually there's something wrong. And just because your water parameters that you test with your home kit show it's okay, doesn't mean it's okay. And an ICP test, I think you could buy them for about $25, the Fauna Marine Reef ICP basic test, and you ship it yourself to them, and within a week they'll get it back to you, you'll see the results, and you'll have a good idea of what's happening. But always keep an eye on your equipment. Make sure when you're buying anything for your tank, for a saltwater tank, that it's not really made and designed for a freshwater tank. And that's true with all-in-ones. And I've seen quite a few people do this. They go down to Petco, they buy an all-in-one, and it's really a freshwater all-in-one, and they make it a saltwater tank or a little reef tank or a mini tank, and they end up with high metals in their water, and they don't even realize it because their home testing doesn't reveal that. So the freshwater pumps usually have stainless steel in them. Sometimes they have aluminum in them. Sometimes the polys that they're made out of are also doped with different types of metals that are not agreeable at all to salt water, but are just fine in freshwater. Also, be careful for your media bags. The media bags that you could buy at Petco or PetSmart or any of those places, Walmart, they have two different ones. They have ones, and I always get the ones that have a rope seal on it, so you just tie them off and fill them up, tie them off. The ones that have zippers, you got to be very careful not to get the zippers that are made out of zinc or aluminum or other metal byproducts, and make sure that they're made out of plastic, nylon, or something that's not a metal. Because once they're in the salt water, within a couple of months, they'll start to break down, and they'll end up creating a high element or high metallic element content in your water that can do damage to some reef livestock. So again, Zeolite's a great product. It's made by Seacam, the one that I use anyway. A lot of different manufacturers make Zeolite. I like it because Seacam is affordable. I bought that big 500 milliliter for, I think, 10 bucks. You can buy it anywhere, so everybody carries it. You don't have to worry about it running out of stock or going searching for it. You could even go to Amazon at their Amazon store and buy directly from Seacam at Amazon and not worry about a third party opening it being expired or tampered with in any way. And if you have a Prime account, generally it's at your house the next day when you order it. So having that Amazon Seacam store is really a great thing. I enjoy it. I buy a lot of products from them and never been sorry yet. So I hope this helps you when you're dealing with some issues that you may have with heavy metals and your ICP test coming back. And if you have leathers that aren't opening, and it's primarily leathers that respond to aluminum that way. My mushrooms are fine, my LPS are fine, my SPS are fine. The leathers wouldn't open. It was a telltale sign that it had high aluminum. So I hope this helps you guys. Appreciate you tuning in. If you can, check down below, and if you would, like the video, and if you like to also watch them again, be sure you subscribe to the channel. We at FishyFins appreciate you, and we hope to see you in your reef tanks. Have a wonderful day.